Welcome back to Braves Bullpen. We are after the All-Star break. Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan Siegel, joined alongside with Gardie and Gardie. Like I said, to start the show all of 3 seconds ago, it is post-All-Star break. We are halfway home in the Major League Baseball season. The Braves came out of the gate, that All-Star break, a little slip, little bit. 1-3 so far. Coming out of the All-Star break, dropping 2 of 3 to the White Sox, and then losing a absolute put your points hat on kind of game at home against the Arizona Diamondbacks. 16-13. 13 runs at Truist Park. I'm there. Gardie's
I'm here.
I'm there.
I'm there.
29 runs. I could only imagine the over-under on that one, and a loss. Again, Gardie, we've kind of talked about this. Braves woes all over the map, most notably in pitching. Guys like Spencer Strider giving up 5 runs on Saturday to the White Sox in a 6-5 loss. Guys like Bryce Elder giving up 7 runs in that 16-13 loss. You look at the lineup. The lineup continues to produce. Austin Riley, 7. Yes, you heard me say that correctly. 7 RBIs in a loss. Gardie, I know we're coming close to the trade deadline. I think it's back to pitching.
Yeah, I think it is. I think the thing, just off the top, Spencer Strider was an all-star, as you just said. We're coming off that break. So it's okay that, he gives up 5 runs every once in a while. He's still on track, I think, to maybe even get to the 300 mark with Ks this season. But don't quote me on that one. Bryce Elder also still having an incredible season. But you look at that 16-13 game and it still fell on the bullpen. Yes, did the starting pitching, did even maybe you argue the middle relievers, because also when I say the bullpen, I really mean the 7, 8, 9 guys, because I think that's where we've truly always had our biggest issues. 12, giving up 12 through 7, not awesome. But especially Iglesias, a guy who we brought in to be our closer. It's a 13-13 ball game going into the 9th inning, and you give up 3 runs, 2 earned, 1 not. You can bless Matt Olson's heart for him, Iglesias, because it's maybe going to save your job at the end of the year if you get better. But it can't happen. And looking towards the trade deadline, we need to find a reliable guy. And I'm not even saying go out and get like a true closer, but one of those, you remember David Robertson early in his career when he's like, he could be a closer, but he's also a stud 8th inning guy. We need to get a guy like that, but not this old David Robertson who's still playing.
Absolutely. And just to give you a little more context, Raisel Iglesias, your boy, Gardie, AJ Minter, on the 15-day injured list, obviously got hurt before the All-Star game. But if you look just at a pitching standpoint, Raisel Iglesias, 30 games, 27 2/3 innings, 28 hits, 13 runs. So for all of you math kids at home, that is a run every other inning. As a closer, he is giving up in his performances, he is averaging a run, an earned run at that, every other inning.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just not going to get it done.
No, the most damning thing is he has more hits allowed than innings pitched. Like, you're a closer. You have 3 innings, and it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, sit them down. Maybe you get a walk in there, okay. Sometimes every couple days, a little doink. But also, he's only pitched in 30 games of 93 we've played, too. Like, that's a lack of confidence in a pitcher, especially a guy who's supposed to be your closer. The whole point of having this guy who only pitches an inning is that he pitches pretty much every other day, if not more.
And comparatively speaking, he is the only pitcher. Again, I've been, I'm really putting my stat guy hat on today, Gardie. He is the only pitcher in the Atlanta Braves, on the Atlanta Braves roster, that has given up more hits than innings pitched.
That's embarrassing.
That's including your boy AJ Minter, who's given up 34, but he has given up 34 hits in 40 innings. Kirby Yates, 24 hits in 35 innings. Nick Anderson, 30 hits in 35 innings. Joe Jimenez, 29 hits in 32 innings. So again, it's not a starting pitching issue. Bryce Elder's going to get shelled, and you pitch 30 games. One's bound to not be good. Spencer Strider, again, giving up 5 runs, not hit, for not what we've become accustomed to with Spencer Strider, but giving up 5 runs in an outing is also not the end all be all with the lineup that we have.
No,
either.
also he pitched 6 full innings too. It's not like he gave up 5 and exited after 2 2/3 or 3 innings. He got 2/3 of the way through the game. So he extended that. Like, that's, I don't know, if you're gonna like, you had a bad day and you still made it through 6 innings, that's like shoot, like that. A lot of teams, that's they're hoping their 4-5 guy does that.
Yeah, just to go off it further, right? Taking a look just at that 16-13 game, Ronald Acuna 2 for 5, Ozzy Albies 1 for 4, Austin Riley we mentioned with the 7 RBIs, 3 for 5, Matt Olson, one of the kind of unfortunate errors on this standpoint, only 0 for 3. Sean Murphy 1 for 4, Marcell Ozuna 0 for 4, Michael Harris 1 for 4, Orlando Arcia 2 for 4. And then Kevin Pillar hit 1 for 3. They brought in Hilliard for 1, and that ended up, obviously, he ended up flying out in his 1 at bat. But again, it's not a hitting issue. You're still able to put up 13 runs against a very good baseball team in the Arizona Diamondbacks. But with this slip, the Braves are still 10 games up in the loss column at 61-32. Yep. They are 6 games clear on the loss column of the Tampa Bay Rays for the best record in baseball. So despite all of these woes coming out of the gate, they are still the best team in baseball. And with the exception of that 8-1 loss to the White Sox on Sunday, they have still been putting up 5 runs or more in those losses.
And Max Fried still hasn't come back yet, or did he come back right before no, he was still in Gwinnett right before the All-Star break.
Max Fried is still in Gwinnett pitching for the Stripers.
Yeah. So boom. That's like, this is one of the greatest things about baseball, in my opinion, is you can have a guy like Max Fried, who's a stud, get hurt very, very early on in the season. He's coming back right around the trade deadline. It's literally like you're spending $0 for an all-star caliber addition to your lineup who hasn't been there. And speaking of not all-star breaks, trade deadlines, our man, Mr. Anthopoulos, has carte blanche, a green light to spend as he needs at this trade deadline, which is, as Rye, I'm going to let you get into, because I think you can, do your broadcasting voice a little bit better than I can. But hey, we just re-signed Travis d'Arnaud for a 1-year, $8 million deal with a team option in 2025, which apparently makes it not a 2-year deal. Hey,
the business of baseball.
Yeah. Of course, baseball has to change everything on us. But speaking of also people, additions, we're getting the spark plug in the bottom of our lineup back. Eddie Rosario, just saying he was there for the 9-0 game. He exits in the 6-5 game. They lose the next 2. He's coming back. If I'm a bettor, I'm taking the Braves. I'm just saying. But Ryan, I'll let you talk about why it's actually a very promising sign as a Braves fan for the future that Anthopoulos is getting the green light to spend 10 days from today.
Yeah, absolutely. Opening today, we're recording the show on July 19th. The Atlanta Braves are now officially spun off from their owner, Liberty Media, as their own independent company. They're publicly traded. This is history. This is truly, of anything that we've talked about on this show, whether it's the AJ Minter truther stuff. This is, without a doubt, I guess, the most serious story that we've talked about on this show. The Atlanta Braves are now a publicly traded organization, boys and girls. They are the first ever team in the MLB. They are the second team in professional sports that is publicly traded and can be owned by the fans. Just today, the Atlanta Braves Holdings Company opened on the NASDAQ for fans to be able to go out and purchase shares. So what does that all mean, right? So again, similar to the Green Bay Packers, as many people may or may not know, fans can purchase stock in the team. Yep, Gardie's got his Go Pack Go little koozie.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of fan-owned organizations.
So fans can now purchase stock in the team. However, this is also not affecting the day-to-day business operations. Alex Anthopoulos is still the general manager. Ownership in terms of it was partially owned by Liberty Media. That will remain unaffected. Overall, this will help kind of grow the Braves portfolio, considering the fact that they are the third highest attendance in baseball. It is the highest Braves average attendance since 2000. And again, now fans can have that kind of say, where those Green Bay Packers fans, there will probably be those shareholder calls that everybody keeps hearing about, or their shareholder meetings, where everything kind of goes to that standpoint. The Braves chairman, Terry McGurk, and president Derek Schiller are going to continue to lead their roles in the team, and that includes the area around the stadium in the Battery. That includes the development, so that includes all of that land adjacent to Truist Park. So again, they wanted to come out and reiterate there are no changes to the day-to-day operation. It is just simply now fans can be involved in the ownership of a team. The payroll has continued to go up every year. Again, like we mentioned, that's split from now Liberty Media. The Braves are their own publicly traded, publicly owned entity, which I think on the backside of this for professional baseball, the other privately owned teams are not going to like this when the numbers come out about how much the Braves make.
Yep.
But Gardie, I think I've kind of rambled on too much, but what do you think about this? Now,
so
obviously,
first of
big
all,
news.
It's big news. I starting tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning when the NASDAQ opens, I will be a minority owner of the Atlanta Braves, and forever now, people have to address me as such. Owner, Gardie Hurt, Atlanta Braves.
We can say we.
Yes.
It.
Yeah, and mean it. We, me, they. But I think the biggest thing that people have to need to understand from a business perspective is that spinning off from a media company is the best thing to happen, because this has happened time and time again with other teams who are owned. Look at the Philadelphia Flyers in the NHL. Look at what happened to the New York Yankees when they were owned by ABC in the late 60s. These companies, they don't actually care enough. They don't have the people or the resources to really dedicate it to it. And then if their other holdings go south, they're going to start just, sucking the blood out of the organization. I mean, it's going to be great from the fans' perspective. And all it means is the better the team is, the more value that the stock is worth. And having the land around it is great. So now you not only, we're a fan show, Rye, you and I, not only when we go to Truist Park like we are right now, you can say, hey, this is my house. I own this. I own the guys on the field. They're my team. I own this. This is my house. It's the house that Gardie built. That's what's going to happen. You can do that if you're a fan. If that's the case, if you do that, I'd love to see a video. So would Ryan, because at the end of the day, we're a fan show here at Braves Bullpen. So we'd love to hear from you, whether it's Truist Park, on the road, wherever it may be. Hey,
our land.
Our land.
I'm standing on my brick that I paid for, that I own.
This one seat, my 5 shares, that's that one seat. I get it. Put my name on it. Plaque.
I couldn't agree more. So, like we mentioned, if you are a Braves fan and you enjoy the Atlanta Braves, again, current share price right now is $45 a share. So for the cost of going to Truist Park for a game, you could own a share of the Atlanta Braves.
Right. I think we're going to have to change the tagline of the show. We're no longer a fan show. We're an owner show.
Yeah. Why can't we be both? Owners are now the fans. Fans are now the owners. It's interchangeable now.
It's literally the great, hey, you always wanted to have a say in how your Major League Ball club was run. Well, just have enough money, buy some shares. Get your one question at the shareholder meeting. I will be getting my one question.
Absolutely.
AJ Minter's going to hear a lot about it.
Absolutely. But again, whether you're at home, on the road, in Truist Park, out of Truist Park, we want to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Braves Bullpen.